Gloria Ikedi stood at the entrance of her family's modest compound with folded arms as she watched students in their neat uniforms hurry past. At 20, she was no longer the wide-eyed secondary school girl she had been just 2 years ago. The lines of worry on her mother's face and the growing pile of unpaid bills had taught her early that dreams needed more than just wishes to fly. "Gloria! Gloria!" Her mother's voice cut through her thoughts. "Have you forgotten that your father's medicine needs to be bought today?" Gloria sighed, her hand automatically going to the empty pocket of her faded Ankara dress. Her father's illness had stretched their family's resources thinner than morning pap. But the thought of another missed admission into the university made her chest tighten. It was on such a day that Amaka first entered their lives, like an answer to an unspoken prayer. One Sunday morning, the church service had just ended at St. Paul's Anglican Church, and the congregation was milling around in their Sunday best, exchanging greetings and the latest neighborhood gossip. Emeka stood out, not because of any flashy clothing. His shirt was simple but crisp. His trousers well pressed, but obviously not designer wear. It was his quiet confidence and the intelligent spark in his eyes that drew attention. "Nne, that young man has been asking about your family. He is a computer engineer with his own small company. Very hardworking and God-fearing." Mrs. Okoli, a long-time neighbor to Gloria's family, whispered to Gloria's mother after church service. "What exactly has he been asking about?" Gloria's mother asked. "He seems to want to know about Gloria, your daughter. He has been asking about her education, and I told him that Gloria is very intelligent, but was having challenges furthering her education. I think he wants an opportunity to see your family to help out, but doesn't know how to go about it." Mrs. Okoli responded. "If that is the case, then tell him that if his intentions are good, then he is welcome to pay us a visit," Gloria's mother responded. What followed next was a series of proper visits from Emeka to Gloria's family house. He was 32, self-made, and carried himself with the dignity of a man who had fought his way up from nothing. His small but growing tech company was gaining recognition in the eastern states. "I want to help," he said simply one evening, sitting in Gloria's living room, his hands clasped formally in his lap. "I see potential in Gloria, and it pains me to see it wasting away because of circumstances." Gloria's father, propped up on his sick bed, said weakly, "But why, my son? You are not even a relation." Emeka's response was measured, his Igbo perfectly respectful. "Nam, sometimes God uses us as vessels to lift others. I was once helped by a stranger when I had nothing. Besides, your daughter is intelligent. Her JAMB scores prove it. Such talent shouldn't be wasted." That was how Gloria's university education began at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Emeka paid for everything: the school fees, the textbooks, her accommodation at the female hostels, and even her feeding allowance. The arrangement was clear and honorable, done with her parents' blessing and approval. What wasn't officially stated, but understood by everyone, was that this was a long-term investment in a future together. Gloria knew it, her parents knew it, and the neighbors nodded approvingly whenever Emeka's clean-looking Toyota Camry pulled up at their compound during his visiting weekends. For the first 2 years, everything seemed perfect. Gloria excelled in her studies, making Emeka proud. He never pressured her, never made inappropriate demands. His support came with genuine care and respect. Education first, he would say during their evening calls. Build your foundation strong, Gloria. Everything else will follow. I believe in you, and I know that you will make me proud. Gloria grew to appreciate Emeka's wisdom, his patient explanations about business and life. When other girls in their hostel bragged about their sugar daddies and showed off expensive phones and weaves, Gloria felt a different kind of pride. Hers was a man building her up, not just dressing her up. But life has a way of testing the strongest foundations. It was during her 3rd year studying economics that the first cracks appeared. Gloria had begun to notice things she hadn't noticed before, like how Emeka's car was always the same trusty Camry, while her classmates' boyfriends drove flashier cars. How his clothes, though neat, didn't carry the designer labels that were becoming increasingly important in her social circles. You need to upgrade your style a little, Emeka. Maybe something more modern, she suggested one day to him while trying to sound casual. Emeka had laughed, that warm laugh that used to make her feel safe, but now made her slightly embarrassed. What for? These clothes are still good. Besides, I'm investing in something bigger, our future, he replied. The word, our future, made Gloria shift uncomfortably, though she couldn't explain why. It was around this time that her friend, Chioma, started filling her head with stories about the glamorous lives of their childhood friends who had married abroad people. Did you hear about Adanna, the one who married that guy from Houston? She just sent her mother a car. And Blessing in London, her Instagram stories alone are giving me high blood pressure. She would say to Gloria. Gloria would smile and defend Emeka, but seeds of discontent had been planted. She began to spend more time on social media, following the lives of Nigerian girls in diaspora. Their perfectly curated photos of life abroad painted pictures that haunted her dreams. You are becoming distant, Emeka observed during one of his visits. They were sitting at their usual spot, a small garden restaurant near campus, where they used to discuss her studies and dreams. I'm just focused on my finals, she lied, avoiding his concerned gaze. But they both knew something had shifted. The easy conversations they once shared had become forced. His practical advice about saving and investing now sounded old-fashioned to Gloria's ears. Even his success, which had once impressed her, seemed provincial compared to the international lifestyle she now craved. What Gloria didn't see was how Emeka noticed every subtle change in her attitude, how he recognized the way her eyes would glaze over when he talked about his latest business contract, how she had stopped asking about his dreams of expanding his company across Nigeria. The man who had never missed her birthday or failed to send her monthly allowance on time began to wonder if love built on gratitude was enough to weather the storms of changing aspirations. Neither of them knew that their world was about to be shaken to its foundations. December was approaching, and with it, the annual return of the Christmas abroad people, those who lived overseas and came home to flaunt their success. Among them was Harry, fresh from America, whose arrival would test not just their relationship, but the very values that had brought them together. December arrived in a blaze of dust and celebration. The streets of Enugu transformed as they always did during the Christmas season. Buildings freshly painted, streets swept clean, and the air thick with anticipation. But this year was different. Harry Ike had announced his return from America, and the entire neighborhood buzzed with excitement. Harry's arrival was nothing short of theatrical. His rented Lexus SUV crawled through the narrow streets, its metallic paint gleaming under the harsh Nigerian sun. American hip-hop songs boomed from its speakers, drowning out even the persistent calls of street vendors. The car alone would have been enough to turn heads, but Harry's appearance completed the spectacle. Oh boy, look at his designer wear. Oh, Gloria's friend squealed as they watched from the balcony of Gloria's hostel. Is that Gucci or Versace? Chai! If you go dinwoke inu isi ego, meaning when you see the man, you will perceive his money. Gloria couldn't take her eyes off the scene. Harry stepped out of his car like a movie star. Designer sunglasses, gold chain glinting, and what looked like the latest iPhone in his hand. He spoke with an exaggerated American accent that made the local kids gather around him in awe. "What's good, my beautiful people?" Harry called out, spreading his arms wide. "America is in the building." The contrast couldn't have been starker when Amaka visited campus later that day in his familiar Camry. He found Gloria distracted, her responses clipped, but he had exciting news and thought that it would lighten her mood. "I secured that government contract we talked about," he said, trying to share his excitement. "This could be the breakthrough we've been waiting for. In 2 years, we could even..." "That's nice," Gloria interrupted, her eyes fixed on her phone, where she was scrolling through pictures of Harry's welcome party posted on social media. "Did you hear about the new guy from America? He's organizing an empowerment program." Amaka felt a familiar knot in his stomach. "Gloria, we need to talk about our future. You are graduating in 6 months, and I think it's time we... Can we discuss this later, please?" Shoma said the youth empowerment talk will take place at the community hall tomorrow. "I should go, for networking purposes," Gloria said, more interested in going for the event than listening to what Amaka was saying. Amaka, seeing that her mind was made up to go for the event, decided not to push the issue any further. The so-called networking event turned out to be more of a show-off session. Harry stood before the gathered youth, his gold rings catching the light as he gestured dramatically. "Listen up, my people," he declared, his accent switching between American and Nigerian. "In America, we don't waste time with small business. Think big, drive big, live big. Gloria sat in the front row, enchanted. Every story Harry told painted a picture of a magical life abroad. Shopping malls larger than villages, streets paved with opportunity, and money that seemed to flow like water. What she didn't notice was how Harry's eyes kept darting her way, how his stories became more embellished whenever she laughed. She didn't see the calculating look behind his designer glasses. But the community noticed. Whispers began to circulate. Did you see how that America boy is always around Emeka's girlfriend these days? After all Emeka did for her? These young girls of nowadays, their eyes are too sharp for money. One of the women in their neighborhood said to another. The situation came to a head at a community wedding the following weekend. Harry arrived in another rented luxury car, this time making sure to park right next to where Emeka parked his Camry. The contrast was deliberate and cruel. Gloria had been increasingly distant all week, making excuses to miss her regular dates with Emeka and instead spending more time with Harry. So, at the community wedding, when Gloria sighted Harry at the wedding, Gloria feigned an excuse of not feeling well and needed to go home, to which Emeka offered to take her home, but she declined. She instead went outside and sent Harry an SMS to meet her outside. They both stood by Harry's rented luxurious car, with Gloria laughing at his jokes, touching his arm and admiring his watch. When Emeka wanted to leave the wedding, he came out and saw them together. He then approached them, maintaining his dignity despite what he saw. Gloria, can we talk? About what? Her voice was loud. About your small local business? About how you want me to become a local champion like you? Gloria, Emeka's voice was steady. Everything I did was for your growth, for our future. Future? She laughed, but it wasn't her natural laugh. What future? Driving that same car for the next 10 years? Living in a 2-bedroom flat while my mates are in America? Harry stood by, a smirk playing on his lips. My sister, tell am o, local champions no fit understand international package. But what happened next would be talked about in the community for years to come. Gloria, caught up in the moment, her mind clouded by dreams of a glamorous life abroad, did the unthinkable. She spat at Emeka's feet. Twa! I regret every second I spent with you. You think because you paid my school fees, you own me? Harry has shown me what a real man looks like, Gloria declared. The crowd outside gasped. Some of the young girls shook their heads, but Gloria wasn't finished. Look at you, calling yourself a businessman and a tech startup owner. Can you take me abroad? Can you buy me designers? Can you? Enough! Emeka's word cut through her rant. He looked at her, not with anger, but with something worse, disappointment. I invested in your brain, Gloria, not your greed. But I will not banter words with you. I sincerely wish you well. Without any further word, he turned and walked away, his back straight, his dignity intact. As he left, an old woman in the crowd muttered loud enough for Gloria to hear. The day monkey go market, na that day him go know say him tail long. But Gloria didn't feel any remorse. She was bent on impressing Harry and increasing her chances of moving abroad with him. Within weeks, Harry had approached Gloria's family with bride price negotiations. Everything moved at a dizzying pace. Her parents, though uncomfortable with the situation, were swayed by Harry's grand promises and the allure of having a daughter abroad. The traditional wedding was a lavish affair, with Harry sparing no expense to show off. He even hired cameramen to document everything for his YouTube channel. Gloria stood beside him, resplendent in her George wrapper and coral beads, trying to ignore the whispers and pointed looks from the community. As she prepared to leave for America with her new husband, Gloria's mother pulled her aside. "Nne," she said softly, "I know it may seem like this is coming late, but I have a strange feeling about this marriage. I hope you know what you are doing. It is never too late to retrace your steps, and sometimes the sweetest soup has the bitterest aftertaste." "Mama, you worry too much. Harry has shown that he is a perfect gentleman. He has spoiled us with gifts and money. Can you imagine what will happen when we get to America? I will be in heaven. Or don't you want to come and do omugo in America?" Gloria said. I know. I want to enjoy too. But I can't help but feel that this decision might not be good. And when I think of Amaka and all that he did for you and how he must be feeling, I really don't know what to do. Mama, Harry has already told me that when we get to America, he will send Amaka the money he spent on training me. He will refund him every kobo and even add more to it in appreciation. Don't worry, Mama. Everything will be sorted out, Gloria said, smiling. Gloria continued posting farewell pictures on Instagram, too excited about her new life to notice the worried looks exchanged by her parents, too blind to see the calculating glances Harry gave her when he thought no one was watching. As their flight took off from Enugu Airport, Gloria looked down at the disappearing city, her heart swelling with triumph. She had chosen the glittering path, she thought to herself. But what she didn't know was that not all that glitters is gold, and that she was about to meet the biggest shock of her life. You don't want to miss the part 2 of the story coming up shortly. In the meantime, please leave a comment for me in the comment section on what you think about the story. I look forward to hearing from you. And please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate. Until I come your way again soon, stay happy.